I'm gonna call this a Dinosaur Bowl. I'm gonna make it for my grandson, a little 7-year-old. He's into dinosaurs now. So I thought for Valentine's Day I'd make him one. All right, here's the plan. Plan is it's going to be a resin and cedar bowl with dinosaurs in it. Okay, here's a piece of cedar. I'm going to turn this piece of cedar down to where it fits into here, but I want a little slack around it, and then I'll center it and put a screw in the bottom to hold it in place. I found these on Amazon, like $6 for all these little figurines. Okay, this is a piece of silver leaf maple. The outer ring, that's going to be my top, and the inner one will be my bottom, and of course I'll cut this out with a thin parting tool after I get it on. And these will be the epoxy to the top and the bottom for the base and the lip. That's the plan. Who knows how it'll turn out? Let's get her going. Okay, I'm going to turn the plug down, and first thing I'm going to do is square the end off. It's just a little bit out. I didn't think it was, but it is. So we'll fix it first. Make sure I'm centered. It looks pretty close. Not quite horseshoes, but it'll work for now. Ooh. I'll bring it over here a little bit more. That way I won't even have to move it here in a minute. Choose right here. All right. Tighten her down. Here, I'm still doing that. I've learned the value of spinning it before, as you know. So there we go. Face shield on. Give her a whirl. It's on a faceplate, so it's not going anywhere. So I can pour it up pretty fast. It is out of balance though, about 800 it starts bouncing a little bit. I'm going to take care of that. Okay, I'm just going to get it around first. That's cedar for you. Yeah, I don't know where that's come out of. Whoa, Betsy. Cedar's a brittle wood. Looks like it came out right there. Let me make sure that I don't get it too small, which is I'm pretty good at. All right, let's see what we got now. Just about right. Get that centered, now we'll be able to get resin in there all the way around. I decided to just make two grooves to set them in, tail to tail. And I've got over here, you can see on the table, I got them all laid out. No, I am not playing with them. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the parting tool. I'm going to make 2 sets of grooves, and then I'm going to start gluing the animals in. And I got a long way to go on that one. They're going to be like this. Something like that. And I'm going to use epoxy. I don't know if I'm going to tin it or not. But I tested some super glue on these and it doesn't melt them. So we'll be in good shape. Well, there we go. I'm going to get the glue in here. I'll glue a couple up and see how it works, and then I'll bring you back. And I got about half of them in there. The glue didn't set up as quick as I thought it would, but I think it's going to look nice. I did have to trim the legs off these upper ones. Just didn't have enough space. But I'm going to get the rest of them, or part of them. I'm going to try to get the resin poured today. But you don't know. We'll see. Well, I'm getting ready to mix up my epoxy to put in here. Okay, I'm slowly pouring it in. This method seems to be working quite well. I don't have much of a gap around the outsides. I'm going to finish pouring the second batch in now. All right, well, we will check this tomorrow. It takes quite a while for epoxy to set up, but that's the next morning. I've got it out of the little plastic tub and put the faceplate back on it. Exact same screw holes and everything. And of course you can see it's mounted. Had a very interesting effect, which, you know, I'm sort of, I wouldn't say glad, but I'm not unpleased about it. I made a mistake as usual. But I want to show you something here, if this will show up in the camera enough. But, you know, I should not have left this cedar on top, because what happened is the bubbles didn't have no place to go. I mean, they should have come out of the top of the resin so they could have dissipated. But I put this on. I sort of thought of that, but then, I don't know, I just let it slip. But here's what happened. There are streaks in here, like bubbles coming up, and actually it looks like steam, maybe like they're walking on the edge of a volcano or something. It's really neat looking. And I got a feeling by the time I get the inside done and all this garbage on the outside and get it polished back up, it's going to have an extremely neat looking effect. Now this is just crap off the tub here, but the bottom row does not seem to have any effect whatsoever that I can see. But the top row looks like it's you know, like they're walking through steam. So I'm going to get after it here in a couple minutes, and we'll see what it looks like. That's all I'm going to do turning wise for a little while. And I'm going to go mix up some 30-minute epoxy. Well, here's a little tip of the video. You may say, well, what's this got to do with wood turning? And my answer would be that not much. But if you have a shop and you're out in the country, like I am, I have woods on two sides of me and fields on the other, you're going to have field mice, and a lot of them. So, you know, we always have to keep our mouse population down, or we'll have other varmints in here chasing them. Like snakes. One time I had a big old water snake curled up in the middle of my kitchen here, and he was in here for food. So it's important that you keep your mouse population under control. And the reason I'm going to show you this is, you know, I'm of the opinion that a lot of people really don't know how to bait a mouse trap to get the maximum benefit out of it. Now, here's a type I use right here. Now, I used to use the ones that had the little metal clip right here, but I got away from them because they were just too damn touchy. And every time I would bait one and set it down, it'd go off about halfway down and scare the heck out of me, startle me in other words. So here, I want to show you something that I think they do wrong. Whoever invents these things. Okay, I use peanut butter, and one of the secret is you use very little. And you see this place right here, that little place right there? Let me see if I can get some that points it better. Okay, you see this little place right here? That's what's meant to bait it right there, but I don't. I put my bait up in here, and what that does is that makes them climb up here to get it. So I usually take this little void right here and put not very much, a little peanut butter. You don't want to really gob it up, and that's all you do right there. And I can guarantee you, they don't clean your trap out. Because if you bait it down here where they say to bait it, they can stand down here and lick on it and never put any pressure on the platform. So you end up not getting them. So even sometimes these are a little pain in the butt to do. Most of the time they're not. That's all it is to it right there. Let me show you a couple pictures that I got this morning, and we'll get right back to the turning. Went ahead and filled the voids, and I went ahead and epoxied the base on it. This is silver leaf maple. I may end up staining it, I don't know. I'm thinking I will. I have some cedar stain which might make it look good. We'll see what it looks like in a minute. Anyway, let's whirl it up and get that turned down, and we'll put a recess on it. And waiting for it to stop before I reached over it. That's when you can get in trouble. I'll use the other square cutter. This one's not doing what I want it to do. It may not. This one is a square cutter. That one has a little oval to it. They both have their places. All right, it'll be ready for my recess in a little while. It's recess making time. Get it up here and see if it works. We're in there just fine. Now what you got to do, you got to see that you got a big enough gap in there. Looks like, all right, I'm 3/16 to 1/4, which is just about perfect. I'm not ready to put it on here yet, but I got it made anyway. So we're ready to go. When the time comes, let me back here out of the way. Got it flipped around and I drilled out the center to meet the other hole on the other side. And now I'm getting ready to glue this other piece of silverleaf maple on right here. Glue it, epoxy it on. And then I'll be drilling that out, cutting it out, and making me a lip and a trench around here to put a few more little animals in. And clean it up and we'll be done. So I gotta go make some epoxy. Well, it's the next morning and I'm back out at it again. I've got the top epoxied on. I'm gonna give her my typical spin. It's actually looking pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and take the round cutter and I'm gonna trim up my lip. It's gonna come out a little bit. And then I'll flip around the other side and drill it out for my inside. All right, ready to drill this out. Everything's tight. Yeah, I already had drilled the inside out and then put this on, so we should have pretty good little place right there. Get rid of this and I can start the hollowing process. There's nothing. All right, seems to be working pretty good. In here. Well, you can't capture the epoxy in something. It's got to have a way to evacuate to get the bubbles out. That was a mistake. All right, do a little sanding and I'll catch you later. So it's all set up last night, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sand the inside. The outside is basically sanded. Next thing on the outside will be to spray some polyurethane on it and possibly sand it just a little bit if I get some orange peel, sand and polish it, but I'll put it on fairly thick. And Same thing with the inside. So first I'm going to start with the inside with some 320. So I put sealer on it last night, and then I'm going to basically go to 500, 600, 1200, just like I did before. So here we go. Nice warm water. Warm water is nice. The thing I like about wet sanding is that if you're using a little soap in your water, is that the paper really lasts a long time. Now if you're sanding epoxy, aluminite I guess, or anything else, in my opinion it's much better to sand it wet because any of the, you know, resins of any kind, they don't like heat very well. So if you're sanding with something that generates heat, like dry paper on a lathe like this, and you can sand it by hand, but if you're going to sand it where there's a possibility of generating heat, well then you're better off to sand with wet. And you need to keep it plenty wet. It's all sealed in here, so it really shouldn't matter. Guess I need to take this cover off, see if my ways rusted last night. I don't think so. I cleaned them and put some oil on them last night before I went in. Learned that lesson. Unfortunately, we all learn lessons the hard way sometimes. I've never liked sanding the inside of something by hand. I just don't like my hand captured in something like that. But that's me. There's some end grain popping up in this trough around the top, but I'm going to fill that with orange epoxy. It doesn't really matter. In fact, it might be better. Gives it something to stick to. So, we're going to keep it moving right here so we don't leave any nice, beautiful sanding marks. So we got that. Turn it off. We're done with that most likely. Alright, I'm getting ready to do a little spray in here. First thing I wanted to do is this gauge. I measure the depth of my recess because I'm going to go over to find me a piece of wood and plane it down to that, and then go over to the laser to cut my signature. And then the next thing I do is I take a tack rag and I make sure that there's no dust or dirt hiding around here. Also do it to the surface here. This is a little block. I'm going to show you how to use it in a second. Alright, that's the bottom. This is why I got the little block here to set it on. Right there. Make sure it ain't gonna turn over on me. Looks pretty steady. Now I'm going to get the inside a little bit. Now that's really about it, because the first coat basically is a tack coat. And you hold it about 8 or 10 inches off, and you do it like this. Here's the end result right here. Like dinosaurs climbing up out in a bunch of steam and spouts of steam and so forth. Actually, we know that they're bubbles. You got the birds on top. I still haven't quite mastered using epoxy or whatever, but I'm getting there slowly but surely. Every time I do one, I learn something. I learn that You got to give the bubbles a way to get out. You can't capture them. There you go, my friends. One more adventure here. If you like what I do, please give me a like and subscribe if you haven't already done it, and tell your friends. I try to do unusual things, even though they don't turn out perfect. They get a little better every time. So thanks again, and like I always say, I'll catch you on the rebound.